the portrayal of violence in video games and movies. Many people criticize the depiction of violence in video games and movies. They claim that this can provoke children and adults to aggressive behavior and commit bad deeds. On the other hand, it is hard to imagine an action movie or any story-driven computer game without violence. Thus, I believe that the depiction of violence should be allowed in both computer games and movies. First, video games that depict scenes of violence often have an age restriction, which is why children under a certain age cannot play them. Also, I believe that the very image of violence cannot influence the behavior of children or adults. Usually, video games are aimed at rivalry, where players compete with each other. In this sense, it is a competition that influences a person's aggressive behavior and actions. However, any competition may lead to this type of behavior. In this sense, even a game where there is no violence can potentially lead to aggression. Thus, the very image of violence does not affect the child or adult. Finally, it is difficult to imagine an action film or a historical war film without depicting violence. All over the world, many people are fans of action movies, and among these films, huge successful franchises stand out. For example, the James Bond films would be completely different and probably not as popular if they were not violent. Moreover, many movies show various historical events, including the war. War films simply cannot help but show scenes of violence. In addition, such films are important for every person because they show the events from the history of a particular country. In this sense, violence should be allowed in films, where without it, all the basic meaning is lost. In conclusion, the depiction of violence is an important part of many video games and movies. Violent story games should be allowed, as they do not directly affect people. Moreover, films of the genre of action or with a historical theme also cannot exist without the image of violence. Unfortunately, the story is full of various episodes related to violence. Thus, historical films depicting violence have the right to exist because they reflect the harsh reality.